Right, this is an addendum to the section that we did on eye dominance when I told you that I found this really great gadget. It's called the red dot, as I told you before. And what the most important thing is what we want, and I have of course brought in my lovely wife Brenda. She's going to assist with this one because you really need to know just how to use it properly to get the best out of it. Now Brenda, like 98% of females that we've talked about before, and it is that high. Brenda is right-handed, and of course, but she is left eye dominant. And of course, I might just want to reiterate from a lady's point of view that the reason being is because, of course, you ladies use both sides of the brain, and us males generally don't. So, big advantage. However, obviously, what we need to do is when Brenda shoots, we need to make sure, as we've said, the iris of the eye is covered. Now what we're going to do is in a moment I'm going to put the glasses on Brenda. My first job would be to ensure that the red dot is going to cover the iris of her left eye. So that's the first thing to do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just simply place Brenda's glasses on her like that. Now I'm going to ask her to look dead straight at me. I want her eyes dead straight. Now you can see that the red dot isn't covering the iris of the eye. So the first thing we need to do is with her eyes dead straight, I'm going to cover the iris. I mean, you have to make sure, I'm going to look at it and we make sure it's dead over the eye. And then I'm going to ask Brenda to shut her right eye and ask if she can see me.
Nope, can't see it.
Good. So obviously that's a big benefit from Brenda's point of view. Now the next stage we're going to do is I'm going to get Brenda to mount the gun because we're going to need to realign the dot when it's over her eye when the gun is mounted. Now very quickly I'm going to turn around. Now the reason is that what happens is that when Brenda mounts the gun, and she mounts the gun properly, when that gun hits that cheekbone, you'll see that it actually alters the actual top line of the face. So hopefully even when you mount the gun as you should do properly, having seen the rest of this video, you get the gun under there. Now the moment the gun does that, and you'll see it actually alters this top jawline of your face, and it will need then to readjust the red dot over her eye when the gun is mounted.
Hang on just a second.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, now before we go into the gun mount, always remember we're always going to make sure we use an empty gun. But look, it's empty, it's safe. We wouldn't have it any other way. So I'm going to ask Brenda to take the gun. Okay, so I'm going to help Brenda mount the gun up to her eye. So we're going to push the gun away. Remember, we're going to bring it up to her face and eye. I'm going to make sure that her cheek is lifted up. And we're going to drop her cheekbone back on. Lift up a minute, mate. Now just drop it on. Now, obviously, firstly, I'm going to make sure, please excuse my back, of course, that her eye is over the rib. Now, as you can see, the red dot is nowhere near her eye. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come round. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to adjust the dot, so now it's over the iris of her eye when of course she's got the gun in the face. Now she's doing very well. I'm going to very quickly check it. It's still not quite right. I need to come down just that little bit more. Okay, and if Brenda shuts her right eye, hopefully she can't see me. Okay, and as you'll see now that the red dot's covering her eye, Brenda's got her eye right down the rib, and that's how you need to adjust the red dot. So put the patch on the eye when the eyes are looking straight, because now if you look at Brenda, you'll see now that because the gun is in her face, it looks odd, doesn't it? You think, oh, it's not in the right place. But actually, and that's the thing, you need to practice with it, because obviously Brenda's looking at it now, and of course it's just generally in the top left quadrant of her eye, of the iris. So you get used to it. Okay, but then of course you would mount the gun, and the minute the gun comes into her cheekbone, it alters the configuration of the jawline, and of course it will then cover the eye. And that's how to use the red dot.